Hey guys, we are
Welcome to my
live. We're
world.
back. It's Happy New Year, everyone. First of all, Happy New Year. We've got Polly, we've got Stu, we've got Jess, and we've got people in the live chat. So hello, but Happy New Year, guys. Did you have a good night last night? It was a bit weird.
Yeah, I suppose, because most of us are at home doing, kind of small scale things. I mean, that's kind of the New Year's that I prefer. I'm kind of over the big New Year's parties because I feel like they're always high expectations and not a lot of expectations that are met. So I had a pretty good night. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, it was all right. I drank a little bit too much mulled wine. I always have mulled wine on New Year's Eve, and I love it. But then I remember, like in the morning, like how sickly it can be.
Definitely.
Girls.
Hello.
One of my neighbours had a full-on like firework display in their garden, and it went on until like 1 a.m. But it was great because I could watch it for free.
Cool.
Well, we all saw out 2020 in the way that we normally do every year, and we listened to ESC 250 to see if Loreen, after I think 9 or 8 years she's been number one, to see whether she would be knocked off her throne this year. And we're going to talk about the top 10, but we're going to talk about some of the other songs as well. But before we do that, guys, we have to go to the live chat and say Happy New Year to Sarah O'Halloran. We've got Shadow Revolver in the live. Alexandros, Kalispera. Happy New Year to you. We've got Rye Bailey, who's hungover. You're probably not the only one. We've got ESC LV Carrions. Happy New Year to you. We've got Euroboy 4. Hello. We've got Sam Ravanbach. We've got ESC Manga. Guys, I would love to know, you're all from different countries, so please let me know in the comments how to say Happy New Year in your language, because ESC Manga is from Turkey. I'd love to see how to say that in Turkish. We've got Serdian Gavrilovic from Serbia. So guys, we want to know, first of all, other than Happy New Year in your language, did your favourites, where did they come in the ESC 250? Did you listen to the whole show? Because it's a long show. I think it's 12 hours, 11 hours. I don't even know.
Yeah, for me, it's already going. It's, you're already midway through the 100s by the time I wake up. So I missed the first half of it, but it's always fascinating because you get to hear certain songs that maybe you've forgotten about. And it's always great to see which songs maintain their legacy, at least among the fans that participate in this vote. So it's something I was really pleased to learn about it last year when I listened for the first time. And this year was just as good, I say.
Well, we're going to jump into the top 10. You've got this. So what's at number 10 this year?
Number 10 this year was a big fan favorite from 2015, Il Volo with Grande Amore.
Oh, it's their second year, or not their second year in the top 10, but they were in the top 10 last year, I think. I may have got it wrong. I'm so bad with positions. I'm just having a look at my little list here. So Il Volo.
So they have gone down one place. They were number 9 last year. Now they're number 10.
Well, Jess, I'm going to come to you first on this one. I can't remember whether you're a fan, whether you're not.
I'm a massive fan, and I still think 6 years later that this should have won Eurovision 2015. I mean, no offense to Sweden ones, but yeah, it's a brilliant song, and it's nice that it's so well remembered that it made the top 10, and even it did better than the eventual winner, Man. So, is that saying anything?
Polly, didn't Italy win the televote with Il Volo?
Yes, they did actually, and I wasn't actually expecting it to be that popular because it's one of those songs where some people might think it's a bit of a Nan song. It might be a bit, but I absolutely love it, and obviously the rest of Europe still does too.
Well, Stu, this is the first of a number of Italian entries in the top 10 this year. Are you an Il Volo fan? I can't wait to give my opinion on this song.
With this one in particular, like usually, okay, all right, I'll do my best. I usually love lots of Italian songs. This one is not really one that I'm crazy about. I respect it for the vocal performance. It's just a little bit too hammy for me, but nonetheless, I appreciate it. I appreciate it despite it not being to my tastes, and I'm not surprised that it's in the top 10. So that's all I'll say, so that Andy can get to what he has to say.
This is my talk to the hand. Oh my God, I love this. And this would be in my top 10 of all time. I remember when I heard it in 2015. And normally, like, my mum likes different songs to me at Eurovision. I'm always surprised by her taste, but she loved this. And I remember watching this at my friend's place when we watched Eurovision 2015. And it just blew me away. I love the guys. I love the song. I love a bit of opera, I guess you'd call it, a mix between pop and opera. Yeah, it was a bit unjust for me that this didn't win. I mean, Mons was an amazing winner, but Jess, you hit the nail on the head. I don't know where Mons came in the 250, but he didn't come this high. So there you go. Maybe they were the real winners of the top 10 guys in the live chat. We'd love to know what you thought of Il Volo. We've got Karin's. Il Volo is amazing. Would be great if it could be higher. Well, it dropped a place this year, but there was a new entry, another new entry from Italy, which we'll come into in a bit. Felix P, where can you find a full top 50? On the EuroVoxx website, eurovoxx.tv. We were revealing the entries live yesterday on the website, so go and check them out there. Francesca, hello Francesca, you're excited? We've got 3 Italian entries in the top 10. Serdian, Italy should have won again, but Stockholm 2016 was an amazing edition of the contest. That it was.
And you have to think, if Italy had won, we probably wouldn't have Peace, Peace, Love, or whatever it was called.
Love, peace.
So,
right, guys, I'm going to put you all on the spot, and you're going to have a go at some of these. So we've got some Happy New Years in different languages. So we're just going to quickly do them now. So Karin's in Latvia. Right, Stu.
Laimigu, Jauno, Gadu.
Very good.
I don't know. How do you know that's very good?
Because it's you and you're always good. Right, Felix P. I have this sounds like Dutch.
yeah.
Holly.
Oh God. Gelukkig Nieuwjaar.
Maybe not so good, Stuart. I don't know. We've just say hello to Bakur from Romania. You celebrated with Loreen yesterday because she won. Right, and we've got Sam Ravanbach, who I think is Swedish. Jess, I'll let you do this one. In your own time.
Yes.
Got neat.
That sounded quite good to me. And Euroboy 4 is Kalikronia in Greek. I'll take the easy one.
I already said it.
Lots of love in the chat for Italy Il Volo. Stu. So we'll move on to number 9.
Yes. So this one actually jumped back into the top 10. I don't know how frequently or if it was in the top 10 even before this, but up 3 spaces from last year is Spain 2012, Pastora Soler with Quédate Conmigo.
Love it. That's my Pastora impression, by the way. That's a high note. I did move to a high note. Holly, Pastora, you love her or hate her?
Do I have to either love her or hate her? Because I kind of like, I'm in the middle.
Well, no, not really. You can be in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good song. Don't get me wrong, but it's not my sort of thing. Like, her voice is absolutely beautiful, but it definitely was nowhere near my winner that year.
Ooh. Jess, I'm going to guess that you like this one. I have a feeling.
You have guessed correctly. But I would kind of say the same as Polly. I like it, but I don't love it. But I love that this song, like almost 9 years after it was at Eurovision, it's still getting so much love. Like, it just goes to show that, like, it doesn't matter when the song came out, how old or new it is. If people love it, people love it. And it's nice to see the love for Pastora all these years later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Stu, I think this is the oldest song in the top 10.
That is, yeah, that's correct. It's well, I mean, apart from the fact that the one that topped the top 10 is just as old,
Oh,
but it is from the same year. And yeah, you know, when it comes to Spanish entries, like, so I was kind of introduced to Eurovision during the time that I spent in Spain. So I know that Spanish fans love Eurovision. And because of that, I was kind of expecting that Spanish songs would, I don't know, I was kind of hoping that there'd be one that I really, really love. And apart from Quédate Conmigo, most of them tend to land, I mean, in the last 10 years or so, they tend to land middle of the road for me. So this one I think is personally totally deserved. It would definitely be one of my favorites from the recent years. And, you know, Pastora Soler is an incredible performer. I'd love to see her come back someday. I don't think she necessarily needs to come back, but if they ever did, I think that it would be a good bet for Spain. And yeah, so I'm totally fine with her taking the 9th spot.
Yeah, I think this has to be one of my favourite Spanish entries of all time. And it's interesting because I always say that I love when Spain sends something very Spanish. And this song isn't a very Spanish song. It could be from, apart from the language, there's nothing else Spanish about it and the singer. But yeah, it's just a beautiful emotional ballad. I mean, her voice is insane. The high notes, it's just stunning. She's on her own on the stage when she's performing, and then when she does that high note, you know, the backing singers come in. It just covers me in goosebumps. So for me, another worthy top 10 placing in this. I mean, it's, you know, it's hard. As Eurovision fans, we love making. Boy, do we love making lists and rankings. I'm quite happy to see this in the top 10, and I can understand why, because I think it's a song that touches a lot of people. So there we go, Spain in the top 10. Right, just before we do this, we're going to go and say hello. We've got Oran, who's literally disappeared for a number of months. Oran, where have you been? We've missed you, but Happy New Year to you. We've got Klaus from from Latvia, still man after my own heart, still having beer and wine. I don't think Jess has stopped either. Francesca Pastora is very popular. She deserved it. Sam Rava, I love Frederica Bayer, who I think was Hungary, 1994. I'm not sure if that was in the 250. It was. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I think it was somewhere in the hundreds or maybe the 200s. Still good for a song that's 26 years old now, I think. We've got
number 223.
There you go.
Just made it. We've got Morton V. Hey Morton V, Happy New Year to you too. We want to know where your favourites came in ESC 250. And Rye Bailey, you weren't a fan of Pastora, you're not keen on it. And you're a boy 4. Pastora has an amazing voice, but song didn't click with you. All right, so that's not everyone's cup of tea. So Stu is the one I'm excited about.
Yes, so this is the only song from 2020 that made it into the top 10, and it might be a surprise to people because it wasn't necessarily a huge favorite. In fact, I think the love for it came quite late, but it was Diodato with Fai Rumore.
Stunning. Go on, Stu, you talk about this one first.
What's to say? I mean, I was quite surprised that this is the 2020 song that made it the highest. I think it's definitely deserved, and especially considering the context of 2020 and how everything unfolded. Fai Rumore kind of it took on a different meaning, apart from being the winner of Sanremo and Italy's entry for Eurovision, because of course we saw videos of people singing it from their balconies while under lockdown. And in the Eurovision Love Shine a Light show, Diodato performed it in the Verona Coliseum, or the Verona, the amphitheater. I don't remember what they call that, but really, really beautiful. And yeah, I think that it does say something about the fact that it probably could have been overlooked. Like if Eurovision 2020 went ahead as planned, I mean, I think that it's safe to say that it probably would have landed top 10 because, you know, an excellent performance, lots of fan love. So yeah, it's great to see that it broke through.
Jess, you were a Diodato convert.
I was. I didn't like the song when it first won Sanremo. And I would say it was probably in his performance he did in that Bobby Outside that just did it for me. And like Stuart, I am a little bit surprised that this is the 2020 song in the top 10. I personally thought it would be someone like Russia or Iceland maybe, but I think him making the top 10 just goes to prove how popular he was. Whereas I think a lot of people didn't realize how much love him and the song actually had until now, maybe. So yeah, I'm happy to see him in the top 10.
Oh, Polly, are you surprised to see this one in the top 10?
I'm not actually surprised at all because I absolutely loved the song and I know it had such a big fan base from the get-go. But I think especially after that performance on Europe Shine a Light, I think so many more people connected to it.
I don't think I need to say anything about this because everyone knows how much I love the song. I did actually have an inkling that this would be one of the highest ones of 2020. I'm happy it's in the top 10. I'm surprised there's not some other 2020 songs in the top 10. And Stu, it's probably a good time to talk about where maybe some of the fan favourites landed. So Daddy Freya was one of them. We had The Roop.
Yeah, so I mean, Daddy Foureira wasn't that far behind. He ended up in the 16th spot. But certainly considering how big of a viral sensation that song was, you know, I think a lot of us were expecting at least a top 10 placement. Behind him in 2020 was Victoria with Tears Getting Sober. That was in the 26th spot. After that was Guillaume's Tears from Switzerland's Répondez-moi. And then I think further down the list, we've got The Roop at number 40. And yeah, so there was quite a few from 2020. I think there were about as many 2020 songs as there were 2019 songs. I think that's what Justin from our team pointed out to us. I think the biggest surprise is the fact, or maybe not the biggest surprise, but something that makes a very big point is the fact that Uno definitely did not come Uno. It came 99. And of course that, yeah. And Uno, of course, you know, apart from Little Big being a huge band, the fact that it is the most viewed Eurovision video has helped it gain a lot of clout. But I think that it makes a really good point about how, you know, social metrics don't really reflect the whole picture, because something like this, the ESC 250 is, you know, it's mostly fans who follow Eurovision year round who participate in this kind of vote. Whereas the YouTube views for Uno is likely more to do with the fact that they have such a huge fan base, and like the 171 million views that it has is like average for a Little Big video. They've had videos with much more views than that. But I think that because some people were arguing that it was going to be a big winner in 2020, I'm not sure that this really confirms that.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we're talking about we would expect some of the 2020 songs to be higher up, but we're really, people have been asked to talk about or to vote for their favourite Eurovision songs of all time. But of course, you will get the most recent ones in the top 10. Maybe there's a song like Daddy Freya. Yes, it was a viral. Yes, it was the song that people were loving right now. But would those people say it was in their top 10 favourite songs of all time? I'm not sure. So I don't know what we can take from Diodato being the only 2020 song. I think they're also disadvantaged because we haven't been able to follow them all the way through, from being selected to ending up singing live on Eurovision stage and qualifying, not qualifying, getting winning a jury vote. Disadvantaged in that way, I think. So maybe we should be, or maybe I should be looking at it from that perspective, that actually they've done really well to come this high up because we haven't seen them perform on the Eurovision stage.
Yeah, and I guess that impacts their ability to have a legacy, because obviously this is the year that they're new, so they're gonna, if anything, their chances at doing the best on this kind of list is right now, and then as more songs come throughout the years, then they're gonna come down, and then the ones that have a longer lasting legacy will kind of rebound, like some of the ones that we're going to be talking about. But nonetheless, it's a good point to make that perhaps they're at a bit of a disadvantage.
Just quickly go to Serdian saying Diodato made the most impact on everything that happened during 2020. Karen's agrees with you, Polly, after the Verona performance. Fell in love with the song. Rye Bailey, again, not so much a fan. You thought there were better songs. And Oran as well. Shocked that Feke Libi didn't make the list whatsoever.
Oh.
I mean, how did that not end up anywhere in the 250? Like, the song's amazing.
It would have been in your top 10, Jess.
It wasn't actually in my top 10, believe it or not.
Oh, no? Okay.
Well, there's the problem.
Francesca Diodato didn't commit you at the beginning, but he's got great vocals. She has an outstanding career. Right, so Stu, number 7 on the list.
Number 7, staying in Italy, and this is from 2019. It's Mahmood with Soldi, which is also my personal 12 points. I'm definitely not surprised to see this retaining its spot in the top 10. And yeah.
So was this higher up last year?
It was higher up last year. It dropped 3 places, so that would have put it in 4th. But it's still there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like 7th of all time is a great position. I'm a huge fan of the song. I was expecting it to be higher up. I thought it would still be like top 5, maybe. Stuart, it would have been your number 1. Polly, a Soldi fan.
I am a fan, but it's not in my top 10 of all time. But I am definitely a fan of it, and it was in my top 10 of 2019.
Oh my god! Sorry. Have you got a TV on, Polly?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm just. This is so non-Eurovision related, but I've been watching loads of horror movies.
Yeah.
And as you were talking, I just saw this face in your mirror, and it just freaked me out a little bit. But anyway, it's your TV. I've literally watched the whole Insidious.
Oh god.
Anyway, we're all right. Jess, Soldi.
Not really a fan of the song. Never have been.
Then you
but
must. Go.
I mean, you know, I can totally understand the love that it gets, and I think top 10 of all time is great for the song. It just doesn't really appeal to me.
Stuart, why is this your all-time favorite?
It's because it really breaks every preconception that I once had about a Eurovision entry. When we were going through the build up to 2019, it really, really struck me. It made an impact, and I will say that when it came to its actual performance, it probably wasn't that remarkable in the sense that, like, the staging wasn't anything amazing. But I think that just the strength of the song itself is what makes it my favorite Eurovision song. So it's kind of hard to, when you're choosing this list, like sometimes I'm like, well, am I going based off of the performance or the song? So yeah, I just think that it accomplishes something that no other Eurovision song has done, and I think that that's great, and that's the kind of music that I want to support, just not just within the terms of Eurovision, but in general.
I mean, the fact that this is the third of 3 entries from Italy in the top 10, I think the only country to have more than 1 entry in the top 10, really says something about Italy at this contest since they returned in 2011. I think they came back. They literally should have won by now.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, since they returned, they've literally just had like amazing song after amazing song, but yet somehow it's never been quite enough to win, even though the songs have been incredible. Like, what's going on there?
And also, go on, Stu.
Well, I think it speaks to the strength of, well, really the quality of music that you get from Sanremo, because that show, obviously, it's been going on for longer than Eurovision has. It's what inspired Eurovision. They place a great emphasis on composition, so it really makes the music stand out on its own. And that's not necessarily what it takes to win Eurovision itself, but sometimes it kind of balances it. The 2 qualities balance themselves out, and it gets them in the top 3, and if not, then at least the top 10. So yeah, I think it has to do with the way that Italy chooses its entries.
Definitely, and Sanremo itself is just pure class, and their entries. I mean, even Francesco, which you could say was kind of a novelty song, it was still class. It was still classy.
Totally.
Yeah, fingers crossed for a Latvian, an Italian win, and Latvian as well.
Yeah.
Italian win. Sorry, in the next few years. I would love to see it. I would love to see what type of Eurovision Italy would put on. We're going to go a little off the top 10. Someone was asking, Klaus was asking, any thoughts on the placing for Latvian entry? So, Stuart, you're the man with the list.
So I wish I was able to filter through these much faster. I will say that I was really happy to see Samantha Tina make the list. It wasn't very high, but clearly a song that a lot of people appreciate.
Aminata at 39 with Love Injected.
There you go. I think that's the highest Latvian entry. Yeah, it is. One that I voted for and very happy to see. Another one, Brainstorm, My Star, was there, which I know is a much loved Latvian entry, probably more loved than the Latvian song that won. But certainly, I don't think there's anyone that we're not excited to see make the list.
I'm pretty sure that their winner isn't on the list.
Yes.
And personally, I'm not surprised because I don't think it was one of the best. Let's have a look. Euroboy 4, you're also hoping for an Italian win. Morton v. Kano is your winner. Let's have a look. Felix P saying, so your needle was a big surprise for you at 78. You didn't think it would make the list. I think it did drop. So on to number 6, Stu.
Yes. So I think this is really the first winner that we're talking about. It is. This is Ukraine 2016, Jamala with 1944.
And it's gone, I think.
It's good. Yeah, it jumped 2 spaces.
Yeah, a surprise for me, actually, that it's climbed. Who's a 1944 lover?
I had to. It was one of the songs that I had to axe from my list because I knew that it would be there somewhere, but it's hard to narrow it down to just 10 when there's been 60 plus years. Yeah,
we know what Eurovision fans are like. They wrote this for 364 days of the year before they submit their votes. What do you like about this song, Stu?
I like the atmosphere. Again, it was one of those songs that really surprised me for taking part in Eurovision for the atmosphere and the production too. And it came out around a time that the style of Eurovision song was changing. And also the way that Jamala performs she's got so much emotion. It just stands out in your head. And I think it was also really the best, in my opinion, the best staging that year. It was... it had a very unique artistic style and it wasn't over the top. So that is what I consider the best.
Yeah, Polly has Frozen.
Oh no, it has the entire Eurovision winner package. It has the entire Eurovision winner package. It's got the meaning. She had the vocals and the performance. And the music video as well really sort of captures the story. And even it's just her on stage on her own, but yet she just fills the entire stage with her voice and her presence. And I think that's why it's had such an impact on people.
And her tree.
Yeah.
Jess.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one at all. It just... nothing about it appeals to me. There's nothing about the song that kind of even make to me the song doesn't even scream winner. No offense, but personally I think that there were better songs in the 2016 contest that could have won over Ukraine. So I'm a little bit surprised that it's so popular, I guess, because I just don't get the song, but I mean, congrats anyway.
That's literally congratulations.
I mean, you know, well done.
We're really seeing a new side to Jess tonight.
Oh, well, I'm going to say that I loved it leading into the 2016, but it really came to life for me. 2016 was the first Eurovision that I ever went to. I remember being in the arena and watching that song performed. I think it was in like one of the jury shows or the dress rehearsals. And I'd met. I'm going to do a shout out to Sigrun from Iceland, who I met at Eurovision that year, and she was actually crying. It was the song was so emotional to her. And I think if you think about the meaning of the song, I know there's lots of talk about, oh, it's too political, and maybe it shouldn't be going to Eurovision. But it was a song that meant something to her. And I always see the difference when someone has written a song, it's a personal song, and they're performing it. Her whole backstory, her origins, everything came out of her when she performed on that stage, and I just thought it was stunning. I think some people don't like it. It's not a run of the mill. It's not a dancey pop song, or it's the vibe to it is slightly different. It's very dark. So it's not for everyone. I have to be honest. I'm surprised that it's gone up in the top 10. I'm not saying it doesn't deserve it. It was just surprising to me. And you've hit the nail on the head, Francesca. It probably is one of the most dividing winners that we've had of late. You're happy it was in the top 10. Rye Bailey, you're saying that Poland was your winner in 2016. So that was Michal. Morten Letosvet. Oh no, I blocked that from my memory, and now you've sung it. I know what it is. Because Jess is hating all your songs. I'm sure there'll be one. Give us another one. We'll see if Jess likes it. Volva, you're saying official confirmation from BTRC. I think that's Belarus TV. They're starting a national selection. Okay, fantastic. So new national selection for 2021. Euroboy 4, your winner from 2016. Sergey. Oh, let's talk about this one because this one is a big fan favorite as well. But I don't believe it's too high up in the chart.
It was at 18th, which is down only two spots. I mean, and I have to say I'm not too surprised to see that, because a drop of 2 spots is really nothing when you consider how many songs are in the picking to begin with, and especially because yes, this is a huge fan favorite. Yes, it won the televote. Yes, a lot of people feel robbed that it didn't win. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. That's just kind of the nice thing about Eurovision, that we can all see different qualities in different songs. It's definitely not one that's to my tastes, but I can respect it as a performance. I can respect him as a singer, and yeah, so it really doesn't surprise me that much.
Oh, it's my mum's favorite, Sergey, in both years that he's participated.
Wow.
And she assures me it's nothing to do with his looks. Morton V, you're saying you went to see Eurovision live in Lisbon. Why didn't we see you there, Morton? Would have been great to meet some of our viewers. We've got Twinkle Star. Hello to you. Nina Sablati should have won in 2015. There you go. And it was, Warrior. I remember that. Because saying, is it ironic that Sergey came third twice? But let's move on. We're in the top 5.
Yes.
We're number 5. Yeah.
So this is the exact same 5th ranking song from last year, another huge fan favorite. This is Norway 2019, Kano with Spirit in the Sky.
Who's going to go first?
I mean, I think it's no surprise to anyone that this song is in the top 5. I mean, after having such a huge televote win in Tel Aviv last year, the year before, I mean, I think Kano throughout their whole Eurovision experience just solidified themselves as like huge favourites for so many people, and they've just kind of gone, in my opinion, from strength to strength, and they've built up a huge following. And like, I mean, I love the song, and I think I'm happy it's in the top 5. I'm not hating on Kano. Love Kano, love their song, and I'm happy it's in the top 5.
Ollie, while you do that, I've been cross-legged this whole time, and my leg has gone dead. So I'm just going to readjust while you're talking about Kaino.
I do absolutely love Spirit in the Sky, and I can totally see why it was such a big fan favorite, because again, it's catchy and it's different and it's kind of edgy as well. And I think how they presented themselves as a band, very down to earth and very sort of communicating with their fans and stuff like that. I think they related to so many people.
Stu.
To echo what Polly said about Kano really interacting with their fans, like since their participation in Eurovision, they have really stuck around the kind of Eurovision fan base, and they've been putting out a lot of songs with collaborating with other artists who have participated in national selections and all that. So, you know, credit where credit's due. They definitely know where their fans are, and they are very good at tapping into their interests. Personally, not my thing. It just, I don't know. If there's anything to be said about the songs that I've been really standing, you know, the ones that we talked about, this doesn't really fit that category. So it really shouldn't be that big of a surprise. But nonetheless, I'm not surprised that it's this high, because I know that people feel robbed that it didn't win. They don't like the jury score that it got. And yeah, to me, it is what it is. I think that Eurovision gives all kinds of space to songs like this and songs that are completely different. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's lots of love for this song in the live chat, but I'm going to rain on your Kano parade because I'm not a fan, and I'm really surprised that it's so high for a second year. I just don't get it. Not one of my favourites. It doesn't fit the mold of what Eurovision is now. Maybe like 5 years ago it fitted that mold, but I don't think it's just not my thing. But they're fantastic. They're fantastic vocalists. I was just surprised it won the televote with such a big score. Literally everything about Spirit in the Sky surprises me. It's Eurovision position. It's position in the 250.
The one thing that Polly said that for me is like the furthest thing, like, because you described it as edgy, and for me it's the furthest thing from edgy. It's just
I mean, I think it's definitely different with is it yoiking? It's something that is not very common in Eurovision, so it's kind of different and stands out in a good way, I think.
Yeah, I think the yoiking, it's a cool aspect of it, but I just never felt like it all fit together. Like it all felt a bit gimmicky for me. But I mean, hey, some people love gimmicks, so.
You know what I am going to say though? I mean, when we were at Eurovision in Tel Aviv and all the pre-parties, they were one of the hardest working acts. So in terms, they were doing lots of PAs at different events. They were doing lots of kind of shows at the clubs and stuff, and they really embraced Eurovision and the community. You know, every show they do, they're doing a show for the people that are watching, as opposed to just doing something that they want to do. So you know, they know their audience, and they work for their audience very hard, and they're still doing very well. They're still releasing some good covers. But there you go. Amber Good doesn't need to get angry with me. It's cool to have a different opinion. Hey, let's have a look. Morton V. Off topic, do we remember Norsken by John Henrik in Sweden selection last year? Also had, is it joiking or yoiking?
Yoiking.
Yoiking. Can anyone yoik?
Not
No.
yet.
So there we go. So it was a surprise for me that they clung on to number 5. Number 4, Stu.
Number 4, which is another winner that has gone up 3 spaces, is Portugal 2017, Salvador Sobral with Amar pelos dois.
Go on, Jess. Get it out of the way.
I mean, I'm not that keen on Salvador's song, but that's not to say that it's a bad song or anything. It's just it doesn't fit my taste whatsoever. I mean, I love kind of cheesy dancing music, which Amor Pelos Deutsch is definitely not. But one thing I do love about it is his performance at Eurovision, because it was like he had just kind of taken everybody into his little world for 3 minutes, and it's like everyone in the arena had gone silent, and it was just him pouring out his emotion into this song, which I thought was incredible. And I think to see him so high up in the 250 is no surprise, just because of the song and how incredible it is and how meaningful it is. It may not appeal to me, but you know, it's a brilliant song nonetheless.
Polly?
It's not in my personal favourites of all time, but I still think it is such a beautiful song, and I agree with Jess. He just sort of encaptured everyone into his presence for that entire 3 minutes on the smaller stage as well, which is very unusual. And he sort of just captured everyone's attention, and I found it so mesmerizing to watch.
Stu, you a fan of this one?
Yes, I'm a huge fan. I'm in general. I'm in general, I'm a pretty big fan of what Portugal brings. I like that they really embrace their own identity, and the success at Eurovision is kind of secondary. There are still a lot of people, I can even see it now in the comments, who don't understand how this won, which I just feel is a bit like you have to really like understand that this song stood out for so many reasons. And you know, Polly and Jess mentioned some great ones. It really, you know, he's of course a controversial person as well for the comments that he made after winning, and a lot of people saw that as a dig to Eurovision as an institution, I guess. But the truth is, like, he had a point. He wasn't necessarily. He might have been, and he's even admitted this himself, he might have been a bit purist in making those comments about, you know, music is not about fireworks, it's about feeling. But at the same time, it really goes to show you that when you come with a really strong song, people will recognize that. Everything else that happens around it just needs to not distract from that, which I think is sometimes what happens with other songs that are really strong. And I think the same could be said about Duncan Laurence. A lot of people said that the staging that he was bringing was not strong enough, but again, he was able to bring everybody into his world. And well, we'll get to that a little bit later. But anyway, yeah, I'm a huge fan of this song. It totally deserves fourth.
Totally agree with you as well. I think it's an absolutely stunning song. But I'm going to look at this from a different perspective. And this is how I feel about this song now. So there'll be the occasional song throughout Eurovision history that will become a really well-known song. And I'm going to say Volare as one of them. A lot of people don't know that song went to Eurovision. This song, Amar Pelos Deutsch, has one of those melodies where you will hear it, it'll become a really well-known song. You'll hear it, you'll recognize it. You won't link it with Eurovision. I think that's what this song is already becoming. Mm-hmm. You go shopping, you hear people playing it on an accordion, or you hear someone playing it, someone busking and playing it on a violin. You don't instantly think Eurovision. So I think it has got that timeless quality. I think it is pure class, regardless of what Salvador said. I'm not putting the two together. Salvador is an artist with his own opinions, and then you've got this beautiful, stunning, emotional, timeless classic song. And I think I normally say that this is my favourite winner of all time, and I will stand by that because I think it's just beautiful. As soon as it comes in with the strings at the beginning, you know it's something special. So I'm very happy with the fourth place. Did you say it had gone up?
It had gone up. It had gone up 3 spots.
There you go. Ooh. So it's standing the test of time, I would say. But you'll hear this song more than you know, because you'll hear it in daily life. Or not like every day, but you'll hear it in places. And you won't automatically link it. You'll think, oh, there you go. So we're into the top. We're into the top 3.
Yes, and I kind of already I had to stop myself from speaking too much about it because I already mentioned it. But this is the Netherlands 2019, another winner, Duncan Laurence with Arcade.
Down or up?
Down one. Just one. Which, I mean, when you're in third place is like, really, like, it's not that big a deal.
Jess.
I can totally understand how this song is in third place. I mean, I want to say it's maybe a bit iconic, the song, like just the fact that it was the first win for the Netherlands in so many years, and also after so many years of them kind of suddenly turning their fortunes around and starting to do really well, it was kind of like icing on top of the cake. Like finally they've got that win, and it was kind of like a great moment in Tel Aviv when he won. The song is amazing. It's not 100% to my taste, but the song is great. It's amazing. He performed it well, and yeah, I think it deserves all the love that it gets.
Stu, this is one of those songs again that is for me. It's like the new Eurovision. It's like the musical side of Eurovision as opposed to the gimmicky side.
Yeah, well, I think what it comes down to is that I think that Eurovision is looking kind of beyond the contest for the artists that it attracts, or really like they want to make themselves a platform for artists to promote their music. And how that relates to the gimmicks is that like you have to come with a song that's going to have a life of its own off the stage. So there is also kind of like seeking the opportunity of the fact that it is television and you should make it a visual experience. But like, the songs that won before, like, let's say Hard Rock Hallelujah, for example, certainly has a legacy, especially among Eurovision fans. But part of I think part of the reason why it won is the fact that they're obviously dressed hideously like monsters, and it's a big kind of spectacle thing, which is, it's one thing, but it's not necessarily the kind of attractive thing for an artist who is really skilled as a singer or as a songwriter to bring their song to a larger audience. So yeah, I think that's really what it is. And I mean, I don't know, there really isn't too much to say apart from the fact that I think Duncan Laurence is a great artist. He's put out a lot of great music since then. Still haven't heard his album. I should probably get on that, but I've loved everything else that I've heard from him. And I think that this song will continue to have a bit of a legacy. Definitely still has an advantage because it's still the most recent winner. But I think that it's going to stick around for a little while.
Polly, he got engaged in the past couple of months, I think.
Yes, he did, which is really cute. And obviously everyone is so happy for him. And that's probably a silver lining on this year, definitely. Personally, I'm not a fan of Arcade, but I can 100% see why it still is in third place.
And yeah, it's one of my favourites from last year. Oh no, it's not last year now, is it?
No,
2019.
yes, true.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people love the song. I don't think it's going to be always in the top 10. It's not going to be one of those songs. It's not going to be a Euphoria. But I'm happy it's still in the top 3. So we're coming up to number 2, and there was a bit of excitement, not knowing whether Loreen was going to be dethroned yesterday. Was she dethroned?
She was not dethroned. I don't know why anybody thought that in a year where Eurovision didn't happen that she would be dethroned. Nonetheless, the song that came second was, no surprise, Eleni Foureira, Fuego, Cyprus 2018.
That's me doing a head shake. Which I shouldn't have done because I've actually got a sore neck. But anyway. So I can already feel the unanimous love for this song. So who's going to go first?
I'll go first. Yeah, I mean, fantastic.
You go first. You have to do a dance move, an Eleni dance move.
Jeez, I don't want to break my neck. Okay. So, like, I think that this clearly has the audience appeal. It's gonna hang around the top 10 for a little while. Maybe someday it would dethrone Euphoria. I really don't want to make that prediction because obviously Euphoria still has such a legacy. But nonetheless, the fans still clearly love Eleni and what she brings. I know that she was rumored to represent Cyprus this year, but obviously that's not going to happen because Cyprus has already announced their artist. But yeah, it's just, what's that?
Elena.
Elena, not Eleni, Elena.
Oh.
But yeah, this has got the kind of appeal that works for Eurovision fans, for the longtime fans and the new fans. And yeah, second place, totally deserved.
Holly.
Obviously, like everyone else, I absolutely love this song, and I totally agree with Stuart. It has the audience appeal, and it also has the Euro Club appeal. Like, we're always going to hear, for the next, I don't know, like 20 years, we're going to hear that in the Euro Club every single time. And it's still going to be as good as the first time we heard it.
It's like, Jess, it's like a Eurovision fan anthem, isn't it, really?
Oh yeah, like an unofficial anthem of the fans. It's like, I don't feel like this song is ever gonna kind of go out of fashion, if that makes sense. Like Polly said, even in like 20, 30 years time, we're gonna be in our wheelchairs like dancing along to this, It's just one of those songs, like, and I think if any song was to dethrone Loreen, it would be this one. I think it has the potential to be the number one, just because of how amazing it is.
For me, over the next few years, this is the only song that can dethrone Loreen. I'm surprised it wasn't number 2 last year as well. I think it's gone up a place. Did you say, Stu?
Yeah, Arcade and Fuego flip-flop this year. So I suppose that in 2018, Fuego must have come second, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember some people were
in more ways than one.
Yes, true. Some people were surprised last year that Arcade was higher than that, but now I suppose for those people, order has been restored.
I mean, I've only got 3 words about this song, and I'm probably going to annoy a load of people, but those 3 words, I should have one. It was just, the interesting thing that I love about this song, and this is what I love about Eurovision, is this song was really nowhere until people saw the rehearsal and she came out and she rehearsed. Then I remember it was number 1 in the odds, and everyone was like, "What's going on here?" And then it was a potential winner. And I remember the atmosphere in the press centre, Jess, in Lisbon.
Oh yeah.
And I think that was the first year where they changed the voting. I might have got that wrong.
No, 2016.
Yeah.
To make it more tense.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was last year. When they changed the order of how they announced the televotes.
Yeah, but I think it was still there was more tension added that year. I think they changed something.
Or maybe it seemed tense to us. I don't know.
It was tense, like.
Oh yeah.
And we all kind of thought we were going to Cyprus, and we got to go to the beautiful Tel Aviv as well, so we're not complaining. Lots of fans. Let's have a look. We've got Morton V agrees with you, Stuart. It sounds very current. Type of thing people listen to. Your favourites were Rasmussen.
Oh, that was my favourite too.
Outlaw by Waylon. Loved that song. Cyprus is bringing the devil. Bringing the devil this year to scare COVID away. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Cyprus
El Diablo, right?
with Samantha Tina. Cyprus has the devil. Samantha has the
spray bottles and the visors. Oran, you're over Fuego. It's a great song, but you're tired of it along with Euphoria. Serdian, you expected Fuego to drop a few places. Karen's Fuego expected it to be in the top 3. Morton V wants to know: are there any fans of 80s coming back? One over there. Alexandros deserved to win. Cyprus deserved to win in 2018. Rye Bailey, Fuego was your winner. It is like the unofficial Eurovision fan anthem. And Euroboy 4 wants to know: what do we think about this year's participant with Cyprus, Elena and El Diablo? Well, Euroboy 4, we did a video on that a few weeks ago. So I'm going to be naughty and tell you to go and watch our video. We'll let you know what I think. Let's have a look. Oran, your favourite was Mercy in 2018 by France. Sarah O'Halloran, you like 80s coming back. So, Stu, we all know who's number 1, but we'll dive into that. Have we got any kind of honourable mentions from the top 250 that you guys would like to point out? Any surprises or songs that you love that fell into 250? I'm adjusting my leg again because it's gone dead. Who's going first?
I'm trying to pull up because I took a screen cap of the songs that I voted for. Oh, and this window just went away.
I revealed my knee live on YouTube as well. I just realised. Put it away.
So personally, I was really happy to see all the songs that I voted for make it. So that included things like The Common Linnets, Paul Oscar, Aminata, Yonine Malici, Goe, John's Tears, Yossi Papoy, and someone who just made it in, and I was very happy to see, was Montaigne. Because I know that was, a love it or hate it kind of song, Don't Break Me, but she made it. She was like 240 something, and that was a good way to end 2020.
There you go. Ollie.
My favourite Eurovision song of all time made it. It was 241, but it made it, and it was Hunter of Stars by Subalter, which is Switzerland 2014. And also I want to mention Kula by Otto Lepland, who represented Estonia in 2012, was 141, which I think is just...
It's low for that one.
What was that?
That's low for that song, I thought.
So low. Should be 1.
Down 46 places, Kula. Jess.
So my favourite song, Oro by Jelena Tomasevic, was in place number 95, which is too low in my opinion, but I mean, I'm just happy that it made the 250. I'm also happy to see Diodato in the top 10, just because I personally didn't think it was going to happen, and it just goes to show how much love there is for the song. And also, a bit random, but to see Pastora Soler in the top 10 after so many years, it's still ahead of so many other songs that I thought would do better than that song. So that was a nice surprise for me. But can we please just talk about the fact that Serhat is nowhere to be seen in the 250? Can
Really?
someone explain how and why not any one of his 2 songs?
The robbery of the century, that is.
See,
yeah.
Mine and Stuart's shocked faces.
It's almost like it's all gimmick and nothing else.
Talent, you're missing the point.
So I've got I've got a few. I always have to give a little nod to ABBA with Waterloo, because it's probably one of the older songs that's iced up, if that makes sense. Number 19, Waterloo. And that song is, I mean, I don't even know how old that song is now. 46 years old. Still sounds amazing. Also, have to talk about Ruth Jacott, who wasn't in the 250 this year. Or at least I can't see her. Netherlands 1993, one of my favourite Eurovision songs. I can't see it there. However, who is on the list there?
Oh, you've done you, but I assume that you're talking about
Oh, of course, number 58. So not as high as he was last year, but only dropped five places. So not bad for a song from a couple of years ago. And also Edita Gorniak with Tonya, one of the best vocal performances at Eurovision ever. No idea where she was on the list, but I know she was on there. So those I shout out. Quickly, is just more. You're all so late. Euroboy is knocked 95 contest. Which Croatian song really at the top? Yusuf, hey Yusuf. I'm trying to keep up with the comments now. We've got Dirk, hello to you. Thank you for joining. Marcin from Better in the top of ESC Song or Eurovision. Oh, how did you come Eurovision? She was top 10.
She was in 9th place in Eurovision.
Let's have a look. Serdian, your top 3. Serdian Taste, Norway 95, France 2009, and Poland 94. I think France 2009 was that really famous lady,
Patricia Cass.
Yeah, stunning song. Great top three, Serdian. Actually, I'm impressed. Serdian, you need to send me your full top five, your full top 10. Oh, love this one. What number was Forog Vilag? Love that one. And Happy New Year to you too, Yusuf. Your 250 winner was Conan. I think he came in the hundreds somewhere, but he was in there from what I can remember. So, go on, Stu, number one.
Well, we've already mentioned it a bunch of times. It's Loreen Euphoria. What a surprise.
I'm going to start on this one. You know, it's not my favourite Eurovision song, but I remember being so happy when this won in 2012 because of the commercial success of the song after Eurovision. It was top 3 in the UK. I'm pretty sure someone might correct me on this, but it may have charted, or it was definitely in some chart in the USA. It changed the direction of Eurovision for me in 2012, and it's probably the year when Eurovision started to become a lot more present in Sweden. So, but
Oh no,
yeah.
He's breaking up on your as well, right?
Yeah, your connection is really bad, Andy.
We heard most of what you said, and obviously you really like it. You're talking about the commercial appeal and making it onto a bunch of lists. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people saying like, "Oh, Euphoria again? How could that be?" In my opinion, it deserves to be there 100%. I mean, sure, it would be more exciting to see somebody else take the #1 spot, but I just don't think that we have a song with that big of an impact yet. We've got lots of people that come close, but not really. Not quite at the level of Euphoria. So I'm not surprised to see it hang on to the #1 spot, and I wouldn't be surprised if it stays there for the next little while, barring a song that really, breaks down, the expectations.
I mean, I'm not surprised either to see it as the winner, but, it is such an iconic Eurovision song, and it really did change the face of Eurovision, like Andy said. And, the song, the performance at Eurovision was incredible. But I kind of feel like after all these years, like, are people still kind of, it seems to me people are still thinking this is like the best song and that no other song is better than this. But then, are there any songs better than Euphoria? Like, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Euphoria, to be honest, but I can understand how and why people love it so much. But after 9 years of it winning, I just find it interesting that no other country, no other song apparently is better than Euphoria, which is just a bit strange. Like, I don't get it.
I totally get it. And I think that one thing that really kind of cemented it for me was in the lead up to the Eurovision that didn't happen this year, we had the Eurovision at Home concerts. And the song that was probably the most covered song, maybe apart from Arcade, but was Euphoria. We saw lots of artists do their own version of it, including a favorite of Polly, Mr. Usaviste. Polly, tell me about your thoughts on Euphoria.
It is definitely one of my favourite Eurovision songs of all time. And I'll completely agree with Andy, like, it's the impact it's had on so many different countries, not only Sweden, not even just inside of Europe, overseas as well, and especially in the UK, where Eurovision entries very rarely chart so high up. To make third in the UK charts, that is a massive thing for a Eurovision song, and I think she's just left such a legacy.
Mm-hmm. Let's check back in with Andy. Maybe his connection has gotten better. Andy, are you there?
We're here.
Okay. Now we can hear you. Yes. You were really choppy at one point, so that's why we kind of jumped in.
Letting you do all the work. Thank you for saving me, Stu. But yeah, I don't know if everyone heard what I said, but yeah, it was a huge commercial success. So, I don't want it to be at #1 forever. There are other songs that I would rather have in first place, but who could say that it's not a deserved #1? and I can see all the comments, but I'm going to pick one out from Olympic saying Taichi, who is literally my heroine of 2020. Absolutely love her. 30 years since she performed at Eurovision, jumped to 101. Let's get it higher next year. A real feel-good song. But guys, we will wrap it up. Can't believe another year has gone. If you're not watching us live, make sure you comment down below and let us know where your favourites ended up in the ESC 250. I'm looking at the guys because I don't know if my connection's gone again. Am I still here?
You're good.
You are.
I'm still here. So guys, if you're new to EuroVoxx, make sure you subscribe. Go follow us on Instagram, give us a like on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. And thank you to the gorgeous Polly, the gorgeous Stu, and the gorgeous guys. Happy New Year! Thank you for joining, and we will see you all soon. See you later, guys.